name is Nico Santos. I'm an anchor reporter at 12 News in Phoenix. I'm 29 years old and I proudly identify as a gay Latino. But I probably want to say second grade, and I knew. I remember actually, because even though I was a shy little kid, and I still think in some ways I'm kind of shy, I had some friends in that class, and they were mostly girls, and I would remember, getting out of my table and going over there, I don't know, we were like drawing or doing something, and the teacher specifically told me, Nico, go back to your table, you're going to be a lady lover someday, being kind of facetious, and it was funny in a sense, but in my head, in second grade, I was already thinking, like, no, she's wrong. And I wasn't butthurt about it, and I didn't take it offensively, but I knew like that wasn't an accurate statement. She just didn't know it yet, and I did. I just didn't know why it wasn't accurate. I didn't understand it then still entirely. And I think in 5th grade we had a teacher's aide in the classroom, and I thought he was cute too. I still didn't understand it entirely. I think it took years really, and I think maybe by middle school I started really Te cayó el 20. Me cayó el 20 when I was like in middle school that I'm gay, but I don't want to say that, and I don't want to admit it, and I don't want to consider myself one of the lucky ones too, because both of my parents proudly were hippies, so relatively speaking, less conservative, a little more open-minded. So I wasn't really afraid of my family, but I also did go to schools in low-income areas, and I just felt that the low-income area, it was highly Hispanic, highly black population, which are in general a little more conservative, in my opinion, at least in my experience, and especially the Hispanic community being also very Catholic. So that's just the vibe that I grew up with, like, this is not right, and kids my age use the term gay as if it were synonymous with stupid or bad. So, all these subtle messages here that led to me thinking, like, I can't tell anybody this. Being gay is less of an obstacle in 2016 than in 2006 and beyond. In 1996, it was probably harder for a 28-year-old journalist back then than it is for me now. However, my bosses are still from the old school journalism generation. So who's to know, maybe my next gig, my boss is probably not going to be happy with that. How do you know? There's no way to know. So it generally doesn't come up, but I also go in being the most authentic me. And if in the conversation, my boyfriend this, like, I don't also prevent that. Because if there is a boss who doesn't want to hire me because I'm gay, I don't want to work for them. That's an organization who obviously doesn't share values that I do, so I don't want to work for you. And that's sad that limits me a little bit because I'm gay. Even though it's my decision, I think that gives me kind of it puts me in the position of strength and power. Instead of allowing a boss to say, I don't want you, I'm saying, I don't want you because you don't share my values. It still limits where I can go and what I can do. Why did I agree to be recognized here? That's kind of a tough question to answer. I agreed because, it's a huge honor. I'm very humbled. And I agreed because, in this conversation, we've been talking about obstacles, about being gay or a minority in general. Sometimes you're multiple minorities, and that's me. So there's been a lot of obstacles, and I think I've done well for my 3 decades on this planet. And it's not an opportunity to show off, it's an opportunity to say, hey, you can do this too. I still have to work hard, I got a ways to go. Because I want to do bigger things. I would still like to be perhaps a professor or 1 or 2 courses while I'm still working in news. I want to make more money. I want to be main anchor. I have goals. I want to travel. So I have a lot of work to do ahead of me. But I think for my short time on this little planet, I've accomplished quite a few things. Here's a secret that a lot of people don't know about me. I'm a black belt in Taekwondo. I'm an artist, so I like to paint with oil and drawings. With charcoal and pencil and things like that. I've dabbled in so many things, and these are things that I see so many people think aren't possible, and that makes me really sad. So it's like, you have to try these things. Go out. There's no reason you can't. I have a lot of advice that I would give myself, or to anybody in my, at 18 or younger in the same position. The problem is, I wouldn't have believed it if I told myself at 18 that it's going to be okay. I wouldn't have believed it. Maybe not 18, because I had already come out at 16. But before coming out, if the me now were able to go back in time and say, it's going to be fine, it's actually not as bad as you think it is, I wouldn't have believed myself. But that's my advice. And I would insist, it's not so bad. That's actually pretty awesome. There's nothing better than being true to yourself. Like, you don't have to worry about what other people think. That's a really hard thing to accomplish. And I think I will spend my whole life continuing to work on that. But I'm closer to that now than I was 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So that's my advice for everyone. It's gonna be okay, I swear. I don't know, I wish I had a better way to say it that would be more convincing, but that's the honest truth.